In this video, we'll talk about the Wheelhouse 2 miscellaneous functions. If I press F12, we want to talk about the miscellaneous functions here. In a previous video, we talked about the miscellaneous functions above this box up in here. So let's talk about each one of these in turn. If I press B, I get the night colors. Press B again, I get the day colors. Then if we move down to center of the chart, press C. If my speed is currently 2.5 knots, if my speed is above 3 knots, or 3 knots or above, then if you press C, then you're going to see the greatest amount of the chart ahead of you. If the speed is less than 3 knots, then the vessel centers in the middle of the screen, because it's assumed at that point you're more interested in what's close to you than what's further down the route. The F function, press F, and this is the future position prediction function, and the first value is the seconds between each predicted position, and this is the number of predicted positions. So currently it's 60 seconds and 5 positions. So if I click on that, give the vessel some forward speed so you can see these projected out in front, and then zoom down a bit so you can see it better. Those are 5 silhouetted vessels, where the vessel will be in 5 times 60 seconds is out here, so that would be out here in 3 minutes. This function is affected by the rate of turn, and the rate of turn is currently computed by taking the heading from the AIS transponder and then computing a rate of turn. That's how we do it now in the program, and that's a fairly new function that we have put into the program. The next, let's turn that off, F. The next one button function is K for declutter. If you press K, notice how the screen is decluttered. Press K again, and you get lots of features. M for mark a position, such as man overboard or some other reason that you want to remember that position. So press M, and there's a marked position. And that will persist across program invocations. And that'll stay there until you delete it. And you can make multiple ones of those. To delete it, you come to click on menu there, and then delete user data, and then delete user annotation. There's the mark we want to delete. Delete selected entries, done. The next function is the range rings. So if I press R, these are range rings that are somewhat similar to the radar range rings on the vessel. That's not to be confused with range circles. If I press R again, they go away. If I right click on a view button, and there's range circles right there, there's bow and stern range circles. Let's put those both on. And also keep in mind that whenever you're turning on bow or stern range circles, that the radius of these circles is figured out right here. So let's make the bow range circle 500 feet and the stern range circle 700 feet, and press OK. So these are bow and range circles. These are typically not used when you're underway, but are used in a docking situation when you want to know the relationship of your bow and your stern in proximity to other things. Now, moving on to Alt-D, which is inner route direction. Let's slow the vessel down here a bit. First, let's also turn off our range circles. Let's just turn those off right there. And let's slow the vessel down a bit. Notice the speed is here. I'm in the Wheelhouse 2 simulator mode. And let's just go down to 0. So there's our stationary vessel. And here's our cross-track indicator. If we, it says we're to the right of the center line, 182 feet, which looks pretty good. Now, if we, when we're in dock, if we're interested in a relationship of a vessel to the center line in the direction we're going, we can't depend on, and we don't have heading. We can't depend on the course over ground at under 1 knot. To know the direction we're going. So the program can't automatically figure out the direction we're going, so we have to tell it. So if you press Alt-D, we can say that we're inbound and switch to automatic determination at 3 knots or above, and everything is still good. But if we were actually going outbound and we press Alt D, we tell it it's outbound. And notice what happened. Now we're to the left of the center line, 182 feet, because we're going this way. And that would put us on the left side. So that's what the Alt D is for the route direction. Let's go back and put that on automatic. Alt H is to adjust heading, and if you press if I press Alt H in the simulator mode, it's going to tell me it's not available in the simulator mode. And that's because there's no real source of heading in simulation. However, if there's a steady state difference in my heading coming out, let's say coming out of the AIS transponder, that there's some kind of mistake on the vessel's equipment, and let's say there's 10 degrees difference in what's coming out of the AIS transponder and what the actual ship's gyro is showing, then you can put in you can press Alt H and put in your actual heading, and then so it will be a 10-degree difference is a steady state difference that will be applied to all future headings. So that's a way to correct steady state heading errors. It's Alt H. Then Alt T is to turn tags on and off. So let me just put in another vessel here. If I press the center button, or if you're on a laptop, press the left and the right mouse buttons together to do this, and then this looks like it might be about 85 degrees maybe, and put that in. I'll create this other. I'm going to create a send vessel. Press OK, and so here's my send vessel coming towards me, and there's the tag. If I press Alt T, then it gets just the name. Press Alt T again, and the tag goes away, and press Alt T again, and the full tag comes back. So that's Alt T. The click on the cross-track indicator causes different displays for the cross-track indicator. This is not available on all screen layouts, but for this one it is. If I click in this area here, that's the full cross-track indicator display. If I click on it again, that's the full display transparent. Again, small display transparent. Again, small display transparent. And then small display opaque, and then back to full. And then moving on to the next one button function, there's a space bar. If I had an audible alarm, I can press the space bar to cancel the audible alarm. It does not cancel the visual alarm. We'll talk more about alarms in another video. Finally, the escape key is used to cancel any given function. For example, if I press F5 and didn't really want to do anything, press escape, and that dialog box goes away. If I press F6, for example, and I don't want to do anything there, so I press escape and it goes away. So that covers the miscellaneous functions menu in Wheelhouse 2.